It's like the wind, some say. You can't see it, but you know it's there. It's like deep sea. You can't measure it, but you find it in every single drop. It's like a warm touch of light. You can't hold it. You don't know how much it weighs, but you can feel it. Electrified by water, by wind, by sun. It's here, the soul. It's like the wind, some say. You can't see it, but you know it's there. It's like deep sea. You can't measure it, but you find it in every single drop. It's like a warm touch of light. You can't hold it. You don't know how much it weighs, but you can feel it. Electrified by water, by wind, by sun. It's here, the soul. Ladies and gentlemen, the new Porsche Taycan. Please welcome the chairman of the executive board of Porsche AG, Oliver Blume.
That's the beginning of a new era. The first fully electric sports car by Porsche. Now its first endurance run for the public now has been passed successfully by the Taycan. 5 big performances in just 1 week. The world premiere was celebrated last Wednesday in Germany, in China and in Canada. 3 locations, really, that stand for 3 regenerative sources of energy: solar, water, wind. Yesterday was dedicated to the place where we built the Taycan, Stuttgart-Zuffenhausen, the very heart of Porsche. And today, we do present the Taycan here at one of the most important car exhibitions of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, it's great to have you here, and a very warm welcome to Porsche at the Frankfurt Motor Show. With the Taycan, Porsche redefines the concept of e-mobility and redefines it. And the Taycan redefines Porsche. It was our ambition to start electric mobility at Porsche with the sportiest, most innovative and most emotional vehicle. The Taycan embodies all of our values. The experience of more than 70 years of building sports cars. It's unmistakably Porsche. When you look at the design, top Porsche quality, driver-oriented, connected, and digital. The driving dynamics, perfect for racetracks. The range, perfect for long-distance driving. It can be charged quickly and comfortably. So the Taycan really connects our tradition to the future. It comes from the same plant that we built our icon, the 911. It stands for car manufacturing with zeal, perfection and passion, craftsmanship and team spirit, the most modern manufacturing methods and digital technologies. The Taycan is the first car that is completely carbon neutral, produced at this location. Sustainability is one of the major cornerstones of our Porsche corporate strategy. We assume responsibility economically, ecologically, and socially. That is our motivation. And our vision is to become a zero-impact company, a company without any negative impacts on the environment, from the development through the manufacturing to the recycling of our products. We think in a holistic way. So the priority of ours is to avoid and reduce environmental burdens with clear objectives and programs. So in our production in the past 5 years, we've been able to reduce CO2 emissions per car by about 75%, energy consumption by about 30%. Since 2017, at all of the Porsche locations in Germany, we use green power, 100% of that. These are first important steps in this direction, but of course we are quite aware of major tasks lying ahead of us. The product strategy is also sustainable, sporty and flexible. That's how we actually use it to drive into a new era, very much in line with our brand profile and our core competences. Petrol engines, yes, they do have a fixed place in our portfolio. They are efficient and emotional, like the new 911 or the Macan Turbo that you can also see here at the show. Plug-in hybrids of Porsche are high performers and locally emission-free, like the new Cayenne Turbo S E-Hybrid with a system power of about 700 horsepower. And then, of course, electric vehicles like the Taycan. They are the third pillar of our drivetrain strategy, sporty, digital, and connected. So there are different drivetrain engineerings, but whatever Porsche is, it stays the same, yesterday, today, and tomorrow. So every Porsche has got a soul, the same soul.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Vice President Style of Porsche AG, Michael Mauer.
Well, no question. The first purely electric Porsche to design this definitely was a fascinating and exciting job. Now, the claim was to take the segment of e-vehicles and redefine it. And of course, it was also to set standards, visually speaking. And now the big challenge, of course, was that the new things were to be visualized. Known things were to be further developed. And what I consider particularly important, personally, was to really stay true to our design philosophy. The design philosophy really places great importance on proportions. Proportions of a sports car, Porsche, are really the key of success. And when I look at the car right now, I must say that we've been quite successful with it. Or as a good friend of mine put it, yeah, the design team, you may praise them because the proportions here are really, wow, awesome. But they're also awesome because the Weissach Development Center houses lots of intelligent people, and they took care of the repositioning of the batteries and the underfloor. So we as designers had the possibility to really create these sensationally dramatic proportions. And I'm going to stop talking about proportions now. The design highlights. Look at the front, the very flat headlamps with the 4-point light signature, making the car look very modern. It's got a modern identity. The side, the sloping roof, our Porsche flyline as we call it, and the graphic of the side window inspired by the 911. The rear, that's the latest status of the band here, the light band, the light surround, structured in a very precise way with a transparent type of lettering. Interior, the freestanding curved instrument cluster, my personal highlight. That's really perfect for driving the car. And we also have very clear and reduced design language, hardly any switches. The air vents are clean and the displays are integrated perfectly. So I think it's a very perfect match for the digital era that we live in. And as far as the operating philosophy is concerned, we've stayed true to it. We've developed it further consistently. Everything is intuitive, fast to be operated without any distractions. And last but not least, in the Taycan, for the first time, we have a complete leather-free interior. So what else can I say? I'm quite happy with the result. And my colleague, Stefan Weckbach, will now tell you more about additional fascinating details of the Taycan. But what I'm most interested in, are you happy with the car? Are you satisfied with it, Stefan? Well, Michael, of course I'm satisfied with the car. Satisfied would be the wrong word, completely wrong word. Look at the Taycan. It's absolutely world-class what you've designed here. Sensational work of the entire Porsche design team. But what's much more important, after the world premiere last week, we got reactions, very positive reactions from all over the world, from people outside of Porsche. So thanks a lot. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Maurer already showed you quite a few details. No compromise when it came to the design. However, the Taycan, all the same, with a drag coefficient of only 0.22, really marks the top position of our present portfolio. 100% electrical, 100% emotions, and 100% Porsche. That's the most important thing. That's the Taycan, ladies and gentlemen. We actually designed it as a purely electrically driven sports car. So we got the best options of everything. So sporty without any compromises, based on our decades of experience in the development and production of sports car. 4 years did we work with a great deal of passion to implement our vision of the Porsche of the future. And now you see it. It's a highly innovative, fully electric sports car. And at the same time, it's a genuine Porsche. And when you look at the technology, the engineering of the Taycan, you will also see this. So we are the first manufacturer worldwide using 800 volts electrical infrastructure, twice as much as presently used by others, and one of the basic requirements for Porsche typical driving performance and perfect charging performance. So we've got two constantly excited synchronous motors, one on each axle. They are designed for efficiency and top performance under constant load and also when accelerating. The performance battery has a capacity of 93 kilowatt hours and has WLTP ranges of up to 450 kilometers. And we also have enormous recuperation that helps to achieve that. Up to 265 kilowatts are recuperated electrically here with the Taycan, also with the best possible or highest driving dynamics. The deceleration is effected with the brake pedal all the time. That's efficient, that's safe, that's comfortable and convenient, and it's really aligned with a sports car. The battery, with its position in the underbody, provides for an extremely low center of gravity of the car. So actually, it's lower than in the series Porsche that we got at present. And of course, it's the total package that makes for the driving experience the perfect combination of powerful electric motors with a performance battery and the running gear systems, the intelligent thermal management, the low center of gravity, the excellent aerodynamics, and the modern four-wheel drive. So the Taycan achieves a total performance, exactly the total performance that you know and expect of Porsche. When driving an overboost and launch control, the overall output is up to 560 kilowatts. So it only takes 2.8 seconds for the Taycan to accelerate from 0 to 100. 9.8 seconds is what you need to get up to 200. The reproducibility and the consistency of the output and performance, of course, were an essential objective when developing the Taycan. The extreme accelerations do not just work once or twice, but many times in sequence, right after one another, without any tangible loss in power performance. The two motors offer a maximum torque of up to 1,050 Newton meters. And then we also have the very innovative rear axle two-speed transmission on the rear axle. The first speed or gear provides for maximum takeoff torque, and with the second one, you can go up to 260 kilometers per hour permanently. Let's take a look at the running gear. That's always been one of the core competences of Porsche. For the Taycan, we use electronic and mechanical running gear systems that are closely connected to each other, as for example, active stability control, rear wheel steering, or also our three-chamber air spring. All of these functions are controlled by the central Porsche running gear controller. The sensor data are analyzed and processed in real time there. Because of the close connection of the motors and the driving or running gear systems, the four-wheel drive is particularly sensitive and fast, 5 times faster and more precise than conventional four-wheel drives. Fast? Well, the Taycan can also be charged very quickly. Up to 270 kilowatts are available for charging, so it takes 5 minutes only to recharge energy for up to 100 kilometers range. Ladies and gentlemen, the connection of performance and dynamism, at the same time offering a car that's perfectly usable for everyday driving, that's typically Porsche. With the Taycan, of course, we now also combine the advantages of e-mobility with emotions that are typical of sports car. So for the era of e-mobility, we've really promised a genuine Porsche, a fascinating, fully electric sports car that doesn't just delight people technologically and as far as driving dynamics is concerned, it's also got a soul. That's what we deliver now, soul electrified. Well, thank you, Stefan. Quite a few features are new here about the car, and still they are very typical of Porsche. The Taycan can drive on racetracks with enormous accelerations and driving dynamics that's typical of sports cars. Nürburgring, 7 minutes and 42 seconds, that's what it needs for one loop. The Taycan can do long-distance drive-ins, 24 hours on the test run. Now it got to more than 3,400 kilometers, including charging, of course. Under ideal conditions, the battery charges from 5 to 80% in only 22 minutes. And the Ionity quick charging network, when that is used, there's 100% natural or green power. So the Taycan doesn't just drive environmentally friendly, it's also produced in a carbon neutral way. The Taycan connects our tradition with the future of a sustainability world. So the Porsche myth is continued. We are 356, 911 Spider Speedster, and the ignition lock on the left-hand side. Legends like James Dean and Steve McQueen. Porsche stands for more than 30,000 victories in motorsports, for many goosebump moments in Le Mans and at all of the big racetracks of the world. We are the daring dream of a man who followed his heart. Porsche stands for pioneer spirit and innovation. As for the 917, the 918 or the 919 hybrids, and today the Taycan. But first and foremost, Porsche stands for unique people, special people. Porsche has always changed, and only because of that, Porsche has always stayed true to itself. Thank you.
The Porsche executives are now available for photo opportunities on stage.